You're watching the CG Live podcast. Now, the content for these podcasts are a little bit different than our normal pods as we bring on members and do long-form interviews. These were actually recorded live at our events with members that were going on stage to present. So the content is killer. Enjoy the show. Welcome back into the live Collective Genius podcast. I am in Clearwater Beach, Florida at our Q2 event here at the Wyndham Grand in Clearwater Beach, Florida. We have our CG CEO and Premier events going on, over 300 CG members in two different rooms, one in the main ballroom downstairs and one here, the CEO room upstairs with our members that are over $10 million and above. Love the podcast we've had so far. We got another great guest for you right now, Mr. Sherad Mehta with REsimpli. Welcome.
Thank you, Leon. Thank you for having me.
Awesome to have you. It's the first time I think we've had you on the pod. I've been on your show. I've been on your weekly show. I've been on the fun show that Sinead did. I do not want to see video of that.
Yeah.
So Sherad is another presenter, member that's been with us for a while. Has REsimpli as a service provider, CRM for real estate investors. Sherad is presenting on our favorite topic right now. That favorite topic for most real estate investors is technology. We've talked about that now a little bit here during earlier pods. So tell us what you're presenting on tomorrow.
I'm going to be speaking on AI tomorrow, how investors are leveraging AI in their business, the specific problems that we are helping investors solve, from missing calls, not following up with the leads, not texting back their leads as they text them back. Like, that's what I'm going to be talking. I'm super excited about it. We're very, very bullish on all the AI stuff we're working on, and I feel very good about kind of the things that we're working on, making sure we're addressing very, very specific problems for our investors to solve using AI.
So you have been running a CRM for real estate investors, very specific for real estate investors. Correct. For a while. When did this start to come down the pike for you in regards to AI, where you're like, all right, I better figure this out soon?
I would say last 6 months to 9 months is when we really started looking at the thing with the AI is there's like so many things you can do with the AI, but how do we make it accessible? How do we make it to the point where it's not overwhelming for the investor? And that's what we started looking at. Okay, let's look at the specific problems we need to solve for our customers, and which is kind of how we started addressing AI, is building specific AI agents to solve for specific problems that our investors were looking into.
Okay, so let's talk about those challenges, because there's a lot of people that are listening to the live version or the recorded version. They're saying, hey, this is my main challenge. And you found from the many investors that you work with, the number one challenge was what?
Missing calls.
All right, missing calls. And what does that mean to their business?
I mean, imagine if you never ever missed a call. Like, just if you take a second and think about what happens to your business if you never ever missed a call in your business. Every single call came in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Either you or someone on your team answered the call. What happens to your business? Like, that is a very, very basic thing. And that's what we're solving. Now, imagine every single time you have a lead come in, a web lead, and you got in touch with a seller within 5 seconds, what that does to your business. Like, imagine if you have a seller text you any time of the day and someone responded back within 15, 20 seconds, what AI does to you. I mean, what happens to your business? So those are the very specific challenges we're solving for our investors using AI. And honestly, a lot of the ideas we got from being part of the CG.
So a lot of the technology challenged people like myself, especially when it comes to AI, I have a relationship with you. We talk about this quite often. One of the reasons that you're presenting here is because you are going down this road to solve in best practices, best uses for AI. These are such buzzwords in our space and a lot of the world right now.
Right.
So no calls missed, quick lead follow-up. How is that happening? For those that are technology challenged, what is the AI technology doing?
So the AI technology, honestly, it's built within REsimpli. One thing that it's our philosophy is everything that investor needs, it's just one login within REsimpli. So investors don't have to integrate into OpenAI, Google's AI platform, anything. To just literally log in. And if they want to have AI answer the calls. They don't have to do any programming. They don't have to do any prompt. They just give AI a name, give us a little bit about the company information, and AI takes over everything after that. We have trained the AI to answer the questions for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Even the conversational AI that we've built out to reply to text messages, it's not a generic AI. It replies to text message based on the specific conversation you've had with that seller. So that's what we've done is, again, it's super simple for that. You just go click a button and the AI takes over the conversation at that point.
How does it sound in the first iterations, the first generations of this?
Right.
How does it sound?
It still sounds a little bit robotic, but that's what the technology is. That's something that we don't control, but we want to be in a position where we're moving as quickly as the technology is moving. Like if you think back to 20, 25 years ago, people talked about, hey, I don't need a website for my business. I own a coffee shop. Why do I need a website? Can you imagine Starbucks not having a coffee app? So that's kind of what, like the first iteration of the app, maybe it wasn't good enough. Maybe you had to click around 10 times, but you still wanted to be there. So that's kind of how we are looking at it is like 20, 25-year websites look like shit, but people were still using it because it made things convenient for you. I mean, if you just think about, okay, even if an AI sounds robotic, it sounds pretty good, but let's say you can tell it's robot. Would you rather have a seller not leave a voicemail or leave a voicemail, or would you rather have an AI pick up the call? Like those are the two options you have. I would much rather have a seller talk to an AI than miss a call or hope that they leave me a detailed voicemail. At this point, we've had sellers talk to AI for over 10 minutes. I mean, we had an 80-year-old person call in, talk to the AI for 12 minutes. Another agent calling, real estate agent, he knew right away it was an AI, but he didn't have any issues. Like AI gave all the answers. He was on the phone for 10 minutes. Most of the calls with AI are going to be 90 seconds to 2 minutes because AI is super efficient at asking the information. And you're getting the emotions of the seller. The AI is asking the right information. So that's way better than hoping the seller leaves a voicemail if you don't pick up.
Right. So let's speak to that 1 minute conversation or 2 minute conversation. Let's say if it needs, someone on your team, is there a live transfer option? All right, speak to that a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's say if someone calls in, like honestly, 95, 98% of the people don't care if it's an AI because they're getting their questions answered. But small 2 to 5% of the people that have a little bit of hesitation, they can say, hey, can you transfer to a real person? And AI will make the transfer for you. You can just
easy.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it does. Or you can program the AI to immediately transfer the call. You can tell the AI to tell the seller, okay, someone from our team is going to call back, or AI can just actually send them a booking link to book an appointment. So you can choose what you want AI to do.
So tomorrow, while you're presenting, I know you'll be talking about this technology, but we have this, this term in CG that we call 0 to 1, where someone hears something that may be above where they're at right now. They need to start, they're at 0 and they want to start to 1. Is there something in that presentation tomorrow that someone that is not currently using this type of technology, that if they wanted to do it on their own or wanted to get started, is there any takeaways for that individual?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the question I would challenge you with or leave you with is, what happens? Like imagine if you are not doing this thing and your competitor is. If your competitor is answering every single call live, if your competitor is getting back to the seller through text message within 15, 20 seconds, if your competitor is following up with every single lead, outbound call, never missing a call, they get a web lead, they reach out to that lead within 5 seconds of them submitting, how would you feel if your competitor was doing that? So 0 to 1 would be the easiest use case would be, whether you're using REsimpli or any other platform, would be have an AI start answering the calls for you. That would be the easiest use case. And then the other things that you can start building on, but that would be, I would say, the easiest case.
Go from having some calls not answered to 0. Start there. That's your 0 to 1.
That's your 0 to 1. Like never ever miss a call. Like you should. If you just take away one thing, you should never, ever miss a call from the seller.
And see, this goes to even those entrepreneurs that are maybe listening to this. Maybe you have a contracting business and you flip homes on the side and you're listening to this because you want to go full-time on the real estate side. Well, that applies to your contracting business as well.
Yeah.
Like people want, when they make a call, especially when they're utilizing search engines or AI technology to find contractors, they're just going down the list if you don't answer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you just think about, when a seller calls you, they text you, they fill out a web form, something triggered them to make that call, to go to website, to text you. If you do not catch them at that moment in time, you're missing out an opportunity. I mean, it is consistently, you talk to investors, they say, hey, if I do not speak with the seller in like first minute or 5 minutes, it's almost impossible to get in touch with that seller after that. It's like becomes like exponentially difficult.
They've moved on.
Yeah, they moved on. So if you can do that, if you can make sure you never ever miss a call, you get back to the seller every single time they text you 24 hours a day. And then anytime you have a web lead coming in, you call them out within 5 seconds, like what that does to your business.
Love
so you should never, ever be missing a call in your
That's great advice for all of those investors and entrepreneurs out there. All right. So you have a lot of real estate investors, entrepreneurs that are on your platform. I'm curious. Technology is the biggest, challenge, not necessarily challenge, but buzzword that we hear that people want help with or want to continue to know what's coming down the pike. Is there anything that, with working with all the investors that you work with, that outside of AI, is there anything else from a technology standpoint that you have seen where people are interested in learning more about that might be on your radar?
I mean, we're working on some Dispo AI stuff. We're working on some other AI related stuff. But honestly, Leon, if I had to say like what really separates people that are successful versus the ones that are not, it's consistency. Like there's really no secret to business. I mean, it's like if you want to lose weight, there's no secret. You go to gym, eat healthy. That's it. Like if you ask me, all right, I go to F45, my wife goes to Orange Theory Fitness. If you ask me what's the best gym, the one that you can go to consistently. That's it. It's like the same thing. What's the best technology that you can stick with every single day? That's the best technology. There's no one size fits all. In our opinion, REsimpli is the best. But if you don't use it consistently, you're not going to get value out of it. If you use a pen and a paper, that's the best technology for you to use, the one that you can stick with consistently.
I love it. What about, there's a lot of rumblings, and I see it more as rumblings it's very regional based. There's some days on market going up. I mean, again, you have a big, wide variety of users all across the United States. What's your thoughts on their feedback of the marketplace?
I mean, again, the guys that have been consistent with their processes, they're absolutely crushing it. Like we have guys that are getting a contract a day, every single day, consistently. Yes, they have to adjust with the market. Like that's something you have to be proactive with. Some markets are going to be more competitive. I also invest in Northwest Indiana. Our market is super strong. Like if the house is priced properly, it's moving quickly. So the thing is, it's a demand and supply situation. So up until recently, we've had more demand than supply. As the market is shifting a little bit, you have a little bit more supply than demand. So you have to adjust the pricing on that. And so price is the most important lever. So what you can do in that end is be conservative when you're buying your house. If you're using 70% formula to calculate your maximum allowable offers, take it down to 65 or 60, just leave a little bit extra margin. If you miss out on a deal here or there, that's okay. I would rather not lose a money on the deal than be conservative. Than be aggressive on a deal. So that's what I would say. Just be a little bit conservative on a deal that you're doing. If it's like in my market, I feel super comfortable with any house that's 200 to 250 or below, because that I know is multiple options for us to move. And that's what we're noticing investors are doing is they're going back to the stuff that they feel very, very confident with, and stuff that was like out of their swim lane. They're maybe like sitting back and saying, hey, let me just see how the market unfolds.
Going back to the basics.
We
talked about that earlier from Alan Stein Jr.'s presentation of, those basics may be boring, but ultimately, if you never get bored with the basics, your foundation, whatever it is that you're doing, business, working out, whatever it is, if you continue to do those basics that got you to that point, and continue to get better at them. He was talking about Kobe Bryant specifically, always working on the basics first before he added anything else. That repetition. We talk about with Steph Curry talked about the same thing on athletes that he trained. It's amazing how when they would start their warm-ups, everything that they did was basic stuff, but they just did it at a super high level.
It's the boring stuff in the business that makes you money. It's the boring stuff in life that gets you the most value. It's like, it's boring to go to the gym it's boring to eat healthy, but if you want to see some results, that's what's going to, if it's boring to consistently make calls, send text messages to the stuff. But that's what's going to get you to your next deal. I mean, that's where we see leveraging tech, AI, to do some of the boring stuff for you if you don't want to do it.
Right.
You know, our vision with AI is to get it to the point where investors are working on the things that are going to add the most value that only they should be doing, going on appointments, closing deals, everything else leading up to that. AI should play some role in that.
That is the best AI answer I think I've heard in a while, is that the boring things that you don't necessarily love, allow AI to do that, especially as the technology gets better. That's all the technology, bells and whistles and things that you hear of coming, that are coming down the pike. But that's, to me right now, the most important use is just making sure you have zero missed calls. I love that piece of it. I know it's day one, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot more takeaways, but I know you watched most of the presentations this morning. Any takeaways that you've had so far?
I think my biggest takeaway is, which is like, people are very, very curious about technology, about the AI changes, but the challenge is it's very overwhelming right now to use. It's very complex to use. So for us, my biggest takeaway is, how do we make it super simple, a very seamless, frictionless process for an investor to start leveraging AI? That is what I see as my biggest takeaway. And I feel pretty good about kind of where we're at, but that's kind of talking to people. They know they need to be using AI, but it just seems overwhelming, not knowing where to start. That's the problem we want to solve for people.
So you are the person that's in the room that's trying to figure those things out, and you are figuring those things out at the 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3 level, so people don't feel overwhelmed. I think one thing that we're going to continue to push within this community is we're going to continue to push on what's coming down next. It's not just what's here today. Yes, utilize what's here today, but we're going to also bring in, we have a workshop on day 3 that's built specifically just for the uses of AI technology in business that are beyond what we're using today. Here are the things that are coming future. So we've listened to the feedback of the memberships, and like you just said, everyone that wants to know how tech is going to continue to scale and help people scale their businesses, especially with the mundane things that people see as basic, boring things. So I think that's super important to address here, is that I remember at our last meeting in Q1, I believe, Sherad watched the presentation and was like, well, that stuff's not necessarily applicable. And then next thing I know, you're utilizing some of that technology to, what can I use right now to help members? So if we continue to push that line, we will continue to help our membership base understand what's next, not just what's today, but what's next. And I feel like that's a competitive leg up for everyone that's in this community.
Right.
It's something that we're going to do at every single level from here on out. Technology is not going away. It is hopefully going to make your lives better, but right now it's probably going to be a little bit harder for you as you start to integrate it. But like anything else, the ones that are first and are utilizing it at a high level where they're not missing calls will be the ones that take full advantage of and get a leg up on their competition.
100%. 100%. I mean, yeah, if you can look at what is the biggest pain point that you have in your business and just focus on that. I mean, it's like going from 300 pounds to 6 packs. Like, it's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
You need to go from 300 to 290, and then you want to have a plan to do that. Like, that is the biggest challenge. Maybe the challenge is not going to gym for you every day. So that's the problem you want to solve. So for us, like, we have 9 AI agents that can solve very specific problems for you. Like, one of the things investors asked us was, hey, I don't speak Spanish, but I buy properties from Hispanic speaker. Can you do something? Like, okay, we're going to create something. You get a text in Spanish. It translates back into English.
Oh, I like this.
You type it in English. It sends them back in Spanish.
Love that.
So you could be talking to a Spanish speaker without ever knowing any Spanish whatsoever. Like that's a very, very specific problem we're solving. Another idea we actually got from a CG call was, you go on in-person appointment. There is no easy way to get training on that. So we created an AI. You go to an in-person appointment, you open a REsimpli app, click record. It's going to record everything. And once you're done, you press stop. It pushes that recording into the lead, analyzes everything, give you the key highlights, give you a summary, and then it gives you a score of how that person did on the meeting. That's a very, very specific problem to solve. And that's kind of what we looked at, is what is the specific problem that we want to solve, not, create this fascination around AI. Oh my God, I got to use it. No, what is the specific problem AI is actually solving for you is what we want to look at. It's a problem that we're trying to solve for our investors and leveraging AI to solve that problem.
Last question, I'll get you out of here. You are unique because you offer a service that is one that a lot of our members take full advantage of. And you're also a real estate investor. You were a real estate investor first before you came up with REsimpli.
15 years now.
Yeah. So what has CG meant to you, not only just from your service provider standpoint, but also as a real estate investor as well? What is CG, for those that are considering a community like the Collective Genius, what has it meant for your business?
Oh my God. It's absolutely incredible. Like the caliber of members that you put together, it's like really, really next level. Like we're in a bunch of different masterminds in real estate. It's not just the people that you have, but the way you guys run these meetings is like true go-giver mentality. I think that is, it's something that I struggle with, and I still struggle with it to the point, but it's something that every time I come to the meeting, I see someone performing at really this next level, but just at the same time being very humble and just approachable. You don't feel like, or you're talking to a guy like who's doing 300, 400, 500 deals. You don't feel like, oh, maybe I should not go bother him. Like they're super approachable. And then people are actually sharing things that are working and also things that are not working, like struggles that they're having in their business. Just being able to have some real conversation with people, that's like, it's invaluable, absolutely invaluable.
I appreciate you saying that. I think it's super important that we facilitate almost every single presentation that goes onto the stage or any track. One of our leadership team goes through that presentation and says things like, hey, we're only talking about the good stuff. We need to have some conversations about the struggles. You didn't go from 0 to 5 without some struggles at 2 and 3, right? So every single one of those presentations, we curate. We actually go through the information with them and say, hey, this will land better because you're actually telling a story that it starts with the struggle and it ends with the triumph, right? You're actually telling a full story of what actually happened versus just peacocking and telling everybody you're doing 300-400 deals, because it did not start out that way.
It makes it relatable, honestly. Like if you share everyone has their own challenges, but if you're just talking about things that are going good, like if you're just like on social media saying, hey, I just closed this deal. Yeah, what led you to close that deal? Like what were the challenges? If you're not talking about that, you're not relating to the people. I think that's what CG does an amazing job with. It's like making it real, making not just having people talk about all the great things, but hey, these are the struggles that people are having.
Well, I appreciate all the value you brought on the live CG podcast here. I also bring all the value that you bring, including what you'll bring tomorrow to this group. Thank you for being a great member. I appreciate you joining me here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is podcast 4, I think, of the day here at our CG Premier and CG CEO live from Clearwater Beach, Florida. We will be back. I think we have one more of the day, but you heard a lot of good there from Sherad about this community. And again, if you are someone that's on the fence looking for a community that can help you grow, not only as a real estate investor or a business owner, but also as a human being, someone that's looking to maybe be a better spouse, a better father, better mother. That's what we focus on. We focus on beyond just business, that balance of life. Everybody in here is doing life at a high level. And you're not just scaling business, you're scaling that life as well. So if you want more information, you can go to our website, explorecg.com. There you will find all the information about the Collective Genius and an application. If you are a full-time real estate investor and looking to join a community, you can do that by filling out that application and having a conversation with us. If it's the right fit, we'll talk about next steps. For now, that is it for the Live CG podcast. We'll be back here soon.
Are you ready to scale your real estate business? Visit explorecg.com, where real estate investors come to scale. Subscribe to the Collective Genius podcast and hit the bell icon to be notified when our next episode releases. And thanks for listening. This podcast is for informational purposes only. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and the opinions expressed by the hosts and participants are their own. The Collective Genius is not liable for any direct, indirect, consequential, or other damages resulting from reliance on the information shared in this podcast.